Hello.
Sorry.
We're so tired.
No, it was the...
Okay. Never mind.
Wait. Okay. Hi, guys. So, guess what? Surprise! You are getting 2 book hauls this week. Today, we are doing our...
The May book haul, which we were supposed to put out in May, but because we were exhausted in life and plus leading up to BEA, we're doing it now.
So, these are all the books that we have either been sent, or we picked up, or in Maki's case, I guess, like, bought digitally.
I Kindled.
I guess that's a verb now. So anyway, we're gonna start with the books that I bought first. So on a random visit to the Strand, because one of my friends was in town, I picked up a copy of the manga The Garden of Words. The story is by Makoto Shinkai, and if that sounds familiar to you, it's because he's also the person who is behind Your Name. I didn't realize that this existed. Apparently, I'm the only one in our circle of friends. And it's basically about an encounter that happens in a garden where a teacher gives this young teenage boy, I guess, a poem, and it strikes a chord with him.
Yeah, and it's really painful. I think it started out as a movie first. I don't know, either way.
It might have, yeah.
Yeah, and because well before Your Name and right after the one with the 2 trains and the 2 kids that got separated, 5 centimeters per second. So somewhere in between those two, Makoto Shinkai put this movie out, and it was just really heavy and painful and wonderful, and so it's lovely that there's a manga version.
I'm really excited. Okay. And then I pre-ordered this book right after I finished reading it because it was amazing, and it is The Way You Make Me...
Sorry.
The Way You Make... It's fine. You want to continue?
Feel. Okay, we're good.
The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. It is a YA contemporary story about a girl named Clara Shin. She is a little bit of a prankster, and so something that she does at her prom backfires, and so she ends up grounded and having to spend the summer working her father's food truck right alongside this girl who is sort of her nemesis. And it is about a summer where she basically realizes that a lot of conceptions she had about her father's food truck and herself and her mother and all these things are not quite what they really are, and it's so good. It made me laugh, and I had a lot of feels, and I just love the dynamic between the characters in this one. It's so good. I forget if this one... No, this one doesn't have any fun stuff on it, but so good. Plus, totally my aesthetic. Okay, put a word there.
I don't know why I had it.
Unsurprisingly, I have like multiple copies of this next book. As you can see on the shelf behind my head, I obviously am a Sarah J Maas fan, and I collect copies of her books. So, for her latest novella, A Quarter Frost and Starlight, I have acquired the UK edition, which is this nice shiny bronze. I have also acquired 2 of the US editions. One is a regular edition, and this one is signed, I want to say. See, this one's signed. And the other one is actually an edition that comes with art. So if you haven't seen it yet, this art is by Monolime Art, I want to say. It is flipping fantastic. It has different characters from the inner circle there, and
oh hey,
so good. I know I haven't really shared my thoughts on this one with you guys because we haven't filmed a What We Read in forever, but eventually it'll come up. Suffice to say that I personally loved it, but yeah, more on that in our What We Read.
Are those wings? Anyway.
And the next thing is something like one day Maki and I were in a Barnes & Noble, and we were kind of just like, it would be nice to like find something we really wanted to buy, and so we ended up finding this, and I was like, okay, this is the thing we're gonna buy. And it is a collection of 4 stories that are basically, the theme is the day she saved the doctor. And so these are the 4 companions. We have Bill, we have Clara, we have Sarah Jane, and we have Rose. And I am really excited about that. Also, if you turn it around, it has the 4 doctors, and so good. We love Doctor Who, as you guys know, and we are very excited for the new season, and also contemplating rewatching. So there's that too. And next we have a book. Okay, here's the thing about this book. I was really excited about it because it is a take on The Little Mermaid, but I've been hearing kind of not so great things about it. So I'm still probably gonna read it and then let you guys know what I think. But this is The Surface Breaks, which is a reimagining of The Little Mermaid by Louise O'Neill. It has a beautiful illustrated cover, and I didn't even realize this until I actually took off the dust jacket, but it has the scales on the actual book itself. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this one. yet because I haven't read it, so we'll have to see. I have more. I thought I was done. Just kidding. Another book that came out in May that I absolutely loved is 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cotugno. This is a follow-up to 99 Days, which is my favorite of her books. This is a close second. The two main characters in this are the main characters of that book, specifically the girl. And this is about a European vacation that she's on, and she just so happens to be on it with her new boyfriend when she runs into her ex-boyfriend.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you screaming about that.
It has like this great end paper as well, and I'm very pleased to say it was such a strong follow-up.
Polaroids, very creative.
This is a special edition actually because it's from Target, so it has a bonus like prologue chapter from the guy's perspective, which is so good. And then I have a finished copy of, which I had not owned until this point, Fireblood by Ellie Blake. This is the follow-up to Frostblood. Frostblood is the story of a girl who has an affinity or ability with fire, and she lives in a world where everyone else is, you know, frost is basically the ruling magic in that world, but then she teams up with someone from the Frostbloods in order to take down the Frost King. This one is also signed actually because I was able to bring it to the novelty that I attended, which was really cool. The next book I have is Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale. I love what they did with this cover. I actually have read this one before. It's about a princess and a lady's maid who get locked up in a tower because the princess refuses to marry the jerk that, you know, wants to marry her. And they basically spend, I'm pretty sure it's exactly 1,000 days in that tower, and it's just their story. It's really good. And then I also acquired this entire set of books. They're called the Books of Bayern. They're also by Shannon Hale. So there is Goose Girl. I don't know the order of these guys. Forestborn. Oh, here's another one. Anna Burning, and River of Secrets. I love these cover redesigns that they did because they used to have different covers, like a more 90s look, you know, with like a girl on the cover.
Okay.
These are a lot prettier and a lot more illustrated. They were from Book Outlet, so yeah. And
so I bought a bunch of Kindle books, mostly because they're on sale and what have you. So I bought Weave a Circle Round. It's one of those, the next door neighbors have like a secret, and they're a bunch of kids who kind of stumble upon that particular secret. Then I also bought the first book, finally, of the Dresden Files, which called Stormfront. I've been wanting to read the Dresden Files for ages. They've turned it into RPGs. It's kind of like...
That's why it sounds so familiar.
Yeah, yeah. And so I may have read a couple of novellas or graphic novels ages ago, but I just really wanted to get into the series, and so that was cool. Also, I picked up a fantasy book called Draken, and it's one of those coming-of-age tales where the young boy goes into like a rite of passage, and some of his, like, you know, year mates may die, and the others will proceed to become veritable members useful members of the society. Some of them warriors. I don't know what the rest are going to do. And then lastly, on a whim, because I had started reading Kushiel's Dart again, because I wanted to carry it with me and not carry the big giant books pretty but giant books that we actually do have, Kushiel's Dart and the other two. I bought them all. And it's weird because on my Kindle I used to have just books 3, 5, and 6. So I bought books 1, 2, and 4. 1 being Kushiel's Dart itself, because I wanted to carry that with me. Book 2 being Kushiel's Chosen. And then book 5, oh no, book 4 I want to say is Kushiel's Cheyenne, which is a totally different character from the first 3. And all these 6 books absolutely dovetail and tie together. It's the same characters, but different focuses. Cannot get over the series, so I'm reading it again.
Okay, next section for me is My Friends Are Really Great. First, my friend Hannah sent me a copy of Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas. This is like a prequel to the Wallflower series. I've actually never read it, but I want to because Hannah said it was pretty enjoyable. And then Kristen decided that she was going to be generous and share with our circle of friends this series. It's, I don't know what the series name, Royals, I guess, the Royals. And it's Paper Princess, oh, can you see that? Paper Princess, Broken Prince, and Twisted Palace, all by Erin Watt. And Kristen says these are really fun, like quick contemporary reads, and I'm actually actually looking forward to reading them, and then I'm gonna pass them along to the next person in our circle of friends.
Like the pants from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Honestly, it's just great living in New York and having people who love books as much as I do and who are willing to like share books. So yeah.
It's lovely.
This last one is an ARC actually, and I'm borrowing it from my friend DJ, and it is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan, I want to say. I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce that. However, here's the thing. I know this is a fantasy book, and I know that it is a female-led fantasy book, and I'm pretty sure it's a female-female romance. However, the thing that got me to want to read this is literally DJ going, well, someone talked to me about this book while I was reading it. He really liked it. He's like, oh, they're saying it's very, like, it's got a very similar feel to Spirited Away. And I'm literally like, okay, listen, Spirited Away is like one of my all-time favorite like anime movies ever. So like, obviously I needed this one. So thank you, DJ. I cannot wait to read it.
And now we move on to publishers. Woohoo! Alrighty, so all of these Alexa got in the mail, either because she told everyone that matters that
Everyone knows he reads middle grade now. Because I'm just like, listen, I know my husband really likes middle grade stuff, so.
And I will start with The Splintered Light by Ginger Johnson. And it's reminiscent of The Giver, which makes me feel like this is going to be kind of really like serious and dark and whatever.
There's a summary in there.
Oh yeah, so disappearances, tragic deaths, and you know,
colors.
And colors in the Hall of Hue. Oh, one of the 7 creative workshops at the Commons. So again, I guess one of those kind of like make-believe worlds with social kind of structures that are oppressive and whatever, and a coming-of-age tale of trying to, you know, overcome that. So well within my wheelhouse. Coming September. I have to insert this in my TBR. Wonderful. Okay, next we have a finished copy of Quinny and Hopper Smart Cookies. Obviously the first time I'm seeing this, and there's a little redhead with
Aki likes redheads.
I do though. Jean Grey. I want to say Barbara Gordon, so I have a soft spot for the gingers. Alana, Ginny Weasley. I was on Team Ginny from day one, i.e. Chamber of Secrets. Anyway, well, actually that's not true. She already couldn't like, you know, she already had fancied Harry in book 1. Anyway, so there's a little redhead with Save Our Cookies picketing thing.
I mean, Mackie also likes cookies, so.
Yeah, what's not to love? Plus Rainbow Bench, so that's kind of cool. Kind of like the Rainbow Bridge, but it's the Rainbow Bench. I don't even care what this is about. I'm reading it. Okay, so this next one looks like a 3rd book. It's called Guardian by A.J. Hartley. It's a Steeplejack novel. I think it's a 3rd book. Okay. Not too sure if it's got fantasy elements to it, but it's definitely got one of those murder mystery ones where the Prime Minister is, I think, murdered or some such thing in the city of Bar Salem.
I think it just sounded to me like a Mackie kind of book because it's like, it's a fantasy that is not your typical YA fantasy. Does that make sense?
I would like to think so. And in which case, climb to new heights in mystery with these adventures.
Plus the mystery aspect.
Yeah, and I'm sort of like semi-resident mystery reader, which is funny because I never really liked like the traditional mysteries. And then in ascending order of awesome. So Scholastic was awesome enough to tickle our Garth Nix fancy by giving us the Keys to the Kingdom series.
With my God. You know, pretty covers.
With the pretty covers, the new covers starting with Mr. Monday, Grim Tuesday, Drowned Wednesday, Sir Thursday, Lady Friday, Superior Saturday, and of course, Lord Sunday. These have been around for a while, and my theory is that these are Norse, because maybe Lady Friday is Lady Freya. I don't know. We'll see. Drowned Wednesday, I don't know if anyone is drowned, but that's cool. And then the last thing that I really love that I finally that we got in the mail is the Adventurers Guild, Twilight of the Elves. I loved the Adventurers Guild part, like the first book, because it was about 2 friends and it was written by 2 authors who are also friends, Zach Lauren Clark and Nick Eliopoulos. And so I'm so happy to see that there's part 2 and it's in my hands now, and it's going on the pile of things I will read first, even if it's due in November.
Okay, my turn for all of the things that publishers were kind enough to send my way. First is, I think this is a finished copy of a book called Almost, I'm pretty sure it's Almost Possible, or Love Story. That's pretty much, I mean, literally the tagline says, falling for him was easy, staying together, almost impossible.
See how we did that?
Yeah, I honestly don't know anything other than the fact that this sounds like a YA contemporary romance.
No.
And I am not opposed to that because summer is the perfect time to be reading YA contemporaries. This one is published by, I think, Crown Publishing. Yeah, so cool. Next we have, I should have just organized these. I'm sorry, these are like gonna literally come out in like random order. Next is Aqua and Cove by Katie O'Neill. If this illustration style looks familiar to you, it is because this is the same author who did the Tea Dragon Society, which I really enjoyed. And there are gonna be more books.
And there's gonna be a Tea Dragon Society card game where they're gonna teach you about tea and friendship and dragons. Done. But out now or out soon?
Out soon. Oh, in October actually. This is another book from this author, and I think it was something that has to do with
Aquacorn.
Well, yes, but it's also like how to protect yourself and how to protect the things that you love. That's the essence of this story, I think, and I'm just like, I'm here for this.
Allegories have never been so cute.
And this illustrator just is totally my aesthetic as well. The next book, ooh, so many things. Okay, the next book is actually from Disney, Hyperion, and it is a book called The Lying Woods by Ashley Elston. I don't normally read YA, like mystery or thrillers, but I know Kristen absolutely loves this author and her other book, This Is Our Story, and I was just like, okay, this sounds fascinating enough that I'm gonna want to read it too, and because it has Kristen's seal of approval, aka she loves the author, I was like, I'm just gonna go for it.
Awesome.
Basically. Next we have from Bloomsbury, A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, and this is a new fantasy novel. It is Beauty and the Beast inspired, which is all I really needed to know. I also just really love Bridget Kemmerer. I've read pretty much every single one of her books and they've all been amazing, and I'm so excited for her first foray into fantasy because I think the first series she ever wrote was paranormal urban fantasy. The next one was like a mystery thriller type thing, and then the two after that were contemporary, so it's gonna be so fun to see her jump to a new genre again.
Awesome.
Next we have The Darkest Star by Jennifer Lynn Armentrout. This is actually a spin-off from the Luck series, which is the only series by her that I've completed. That series is basically about a normal girl and the fact that she gets entangled with this family of aliens. And I'm not much for paranormal, but honestly that series is just so much fun to read, and I'm so excited to see like this one.
Doesn't that make it like super science fiction though if they're aliens?
I don't know.
Alright.
I would say paranormal. The next book is called The Forest Queen by, oh, sorry. I forgot to say, you guys, this is actually getting published by Tor Teen, which we love Tor, so.
Oh, we should have had more from Tor.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The next one is The Forest Queen by Betsy Cornwell. This is being published by Clarion Books. And all I needed to know about this one is that it is a spin on Robin Hood. It's a female sort of Robin Hood character, and I'm here for that.
All for it.
I mean, honestly, I just love things when they're gender bent because they're so much fun. The next book is Rule by Ellen Goodlett. This is being published by Little Brown, and it is the story of 3 sisters who are basically pitted against each other in a competition to like win the crown, but it turns out like someone else is trying to blackmail them. So it's like Pretty Little Liars meets 3 Dark Crowns. That's the official sort of pitch for it, like the comp titles, and it just sounds really, really good. We got to hear about this a little at the novelty that I was able to attend, and I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Honestly, sister stories are also my cup of tea, so. The next book I have is The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson, and this is being published by Bloomsbury. It is, I think it's like about an ancient like sort of war, a magical one, between 2 warring factions. And it's compared to the Raven Cycle, which I know a lot of people will be like, whoa, and with Poppy Midnight, so I like the cover and I'm very interested. Okay, I got this really cool package from Bloomsbury, so I'm just gonna show you guys really quick what it was. It is for a book called The Opposite of Here by Tara Altebrando, and this is also a thriller. It's about a girl who goes with her friends on a cruise ship, only for them to like discover that there's this guy, and then the guy suddenly disappears and they're trying to figure out what's going on, so sounds pretty good. It was cute because it came in with like a luggage tag, and it has your name on it. It says like you're invited to this celebration.
Celebration.
Yeah, and then there's like a letter in here, which was really cool. It's printed on the stationery of the cruise line.
Oh, that's
and you
cute.
also got this little like Bon Voyage package.
Who knows?
It was Bloomsbury.
Kudos, Bloomsbury.
It had a notebook with like a rope knot on it, and a boat stamp at the back. Perfume, which is like interesting. Travel wipes, because why not? sunscreen, because obviously lip gloss. I'm pretty sure that was it. I think there was like another thing here, maybe like a tag.
And confetti.
But yeah, it was really cool.
Purchased. And the last books that I got for the month of May, literally I think on the last day of May.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or the second of the last day. So I was kind of trolling around Barnes & Noble because I had really wanted to get into Dungeons and Dragons. And so these aren't technically novels or stories per se, but they are Dungeons and Dragons books. I've got the Player's Handbook. I also got the, although that doesn't technically count, I got the starter guide. Okay. So I started reading these things. Pretty cool. Important for anybody who wants to play. And because I wanted to try kind of to kind of run the game and kind of DM and be the kind of like storyteller of a chief storyteller, whatever it is. I got Curse of Strahd because me and vampires, I know it's terrible. I'm a creature of the 80s.
I honestly think he will never be able to let go of the vampires.
It's terrible. It's terrible, this whole bid for immortality. But Curse of Strahd is, I think, a revitalized, a rejuvenated version of the Ravenloft series. It has an interesting history, and these are just two. I ordered a bunch of other books because I wanted to do Dungeons and Dragons with our friends here. Super Space Chick, Kristen and Andrew and Alexa and I are going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons in about a month's time after I figure that out. In some vlog clip form or fashion, we're going to do that, so it's going to be great. And I will use these to create the perfect campaign for all of us to adventure on. It's going to be amazing.
Okay, so there was a thing I forgot to show in the BookCon BA haul we filmed, but I do want to show it to you guys because it's really cool. So if you know anything about The Darkest Minds, they did a paperback, like a redesign for the covers. And so at Book Expo, if you lined up for The Darkest Legacy, they gave you all 4 totes for each book. So this one is for The Darkest Minds, and the back says, time to carpe the hell out of this DM, which is a quote from the book. And then the second book, obviously, is Never Fade, and the quote on this one says, I don't want to just see someone's face, I want to know his shadow too. Which is like...
Damn, Alex, that's some good lines.
And then in The Afterlight, which is the third book, I love the quote on this one. They don't burn, do they? Not like us. Which is dun dun dun. And then the last...
What does that mean? I'm so excited.
Through the Dark. And it says, I want to feel every ounce of pain and happiness life can serve up because it'll mean I've survived. And that is like a beautiful quote. And I'm so excited to have all these because I love The Darkest Minds. I'm so excited about the movie. If you guys want the paperback editions, they're being sold separately already. But there's also a box set that is coming out in July, I want to say. So you could also wait for that. That's pretty cool. There's also a movie tie-in edition, I think. I don't know when that one's on sale. But yeah, definitely check that out. Speaking of The Darkest Minds, so I am lucky enough to be one of the people who gets to do like fun things leading up to the release of the movie. So, I don't want to knock off. I got this box, and like the bag, it says "Carpe the hell out of this DM," has the symbol on it. And there were a few things inside. First, my favorite thing is this campfire mug, and it also says carpe the hell out of this DM, which honestly. The next thing in here is a s'mores kit, which we are going to take to Cape Cod next weekend, because why not? You can make s'mores, obviously. And the last thing, and the most exciting, I think, in general, is a copies of all the 4 redesigned paperbacks. And if you look at the spines, you can see that the white letters spell out the word dark.
Oh, hey.
Cool. So this is the first one. This is The Darkest Minds, and this one actually has an exclusive Liam story. Liam is one of the main characters. The Darkest Minds is essentially a dystopian story where kids, when they get sick, some of them end up developing special abilities, and they've been sorted by color. And yeah, so there are different tiers and you can have different abilities, but everyone is being rounded up into camps, and the story sort of goes from there. I actually am not very like up on the details anymore because it's been a while since I read it, but I really want to reread it before the movie. So this is the first one. The next one is Never Fade, which is the second book, obviously, and this one has an exclusive Vita story, another character who I think you meet for the first time in this book, I want to say. The third one is In the Afterlight, which has the moon on it, which is cool, of all this destruction though. This one has an exclusive Clancy story, and Clancy is a character you actually meet in the very first book.
I'm so taking these.
And the last book is Through the Dark, which is a collection of novellas from different characters in the series. And this one has an excerpt of The Darkest Legacy, which is the book coming out on July 31st. And it's about Zoo, who is one of the main characters of the series. Maki is slowly pulling them from me because he wants to read the series, which I'm very excited about. Which I'm very excited about because I love that series. Yeah, so the theme of this box was clearly inspired by the red side, which is pyrokinesis. And yeah, so exciting times. I'm very excited about that. I should be getting another one of those boxes soon, which is so exciting. So yeah, that's basically everything we picked up in May. I know I have some ebooks, but also like...
We'll save those for another time.
Yeah. But yeah, we should be back to our regularly scheduled programming. You guys will be seeing season 2 of What We Read start up. Woo! Can you believe we're at season 2? That's
I know,
insane.
it's been a year.
We have decided to tweak it just a teensy bit for your benefit, obviously, and also ours, I guess.
Helps the sanity. Stay in check.
Yeah, and also because I did an Instagram like story poll recently, and I saw that a lot of people would be interested in seeing us do a couple of other kinds of videos. Recommendations videos was one. You guys also were like fond of the vlogs, which I thought was really great, so we're gonna start doing that again too. Also, which I'm really excited about, we're gonna do favorites.
Ah, yes.
Here's the reason why I'm very excited. I'm gonna say it right now. Voltron. Because like I have a lot of feelings.
Shiro trash.
Not just Shiro. That's the sad part. It's not even just Shiro.
Well, Keith is a very fine specimen, wouldn't you say?
I know. Anyway, so that's for another video. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. That is the end of this video. If you liked it, we hope you guys subscribe to the channel. If you are excited about any of the books, do let us know, because we always love being able to talk to you guys about the stuff that you are excited about.
Yeah, we try to backtrack even if you commented on videos that we released like months ago.
I know,
we try to see who it is.
I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get better. But yeah,
if I like
let
the
us
comment,
know. I mean,
I
especially if you want to find out how we
to it.
feel about any of those books. I'm sorry, we're talking over each other again. It's a bad habit in these videos. But if you are interested in any titles and you specifically want us to read those first so we can talk about them already, we're more than happy to do that when we're making our TBRs. So yeah, wish us luck with all the reading we're gonna do, and we hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye!